Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Wrap Up, your daily dose of pop culture and movie news, hosted by me, Mr. H Reviews. On today's show, it's going to be a long one. Bear with me. We'll be taking a look at a review roundup for Child's Play remake. So this is not a continuation. This is the Child's Play remake featuring Mark Hamill and Aubrey Plaza. We'll also be taking a look at, again, in other Mark Hamill news, he has spoiled his return in The Rise of Skywalker, and also given some more thoughts on the Star Wars franchise as a whole, now anyway. And in some industry news, we have the reason why 21 Jump Street and the Men in Black crossover didn't happen. So that's quite interesting. And then also we have a report which seems to indicate when Halloween 2, kind of, I guess you could call it that, the sequel to the soft reboot will begin production and when it will be released. Guys, if you do want to skip right ahead to anything that I've mentioned, please do check out the links down below in the description box and in a pinned comment. There'll be timestamps there. But guys, if you are new here, consider hitting subscribe. You can do that by clicking that subscribe button and hitting bell notifications all down below as well. That really helped me out. And also give this video a like. So let's just jump right into it. Child's Play review roundup. Let's go. This is a movie which I'm mildly looking forward to, I guess. Interestingly enough, look, it says Child's Play reboot hits theatres tomorrow, which it does. I guess that's probably what, today now? Yes, today. And the review embargo has lifted to reveal that it's currently teetering on the edge of a fresh. Surprising, but okay. So in terms of the review roundup, these will all be non-spoilers. But because it's a remake, can we really expect there to be much that's going to be spoiled? Doubtful. So it says, the New York Times, while we may need to fear the creeping presence of Alexa, Siri and self-driving cars, rogue artificial intelligence is easily explained. So that's one of the main take-homes for this whole movie, is that it is about artificial intelligence. It's not a soul and a voodoo thing anymore. It's nothing like that. It says, unlike, say, a possessed doll that frames a small boy for murder, paradoxically, plausibility makes Child's Play less scary. In trying to build a smarter Chucky, the filmmakers have assembled something unfathomably dumb. Wow. It's not good, is it? This is kind of what I was saying before, though. I did say that this, you know, it's a trope which we've seen all too much. And this image of Chucky's atrocious as well. But the rep says the movie's biggest strength is its balance between mordant humour and psychological fear. Everyone's focus seems to be in a very old-fashioned place, and here that's an asset. The lead actors are uniformly committed, with Bateman forming touching connections to both a sweet Aubrey Plaza and memorable Brian Tyree Henry. So he says, they say, who plays the local detective? Ultimately, it's their bond, rather than Chucky's final freakout that suggests this creaky franchise isn't quite played out yet. Surprising, sounds like there may be sequels in the works, or at least teasing sequels. Then we have Plaza herself. Looking fantastic. She says the makeshift nature of Mancini's originals handily outshines this slick corporate cash grab. I'll still give Child's Play redo this best end credits song since Gran Torino. Interesting. So the Hollywood Reporter's scathing review there. Just out and out saying it's a cash grab, which most people think anyway, in fairness. So it's not really a surprise. Variety said, the fact that the film doesn't take itself too seriously can make Child's Play fun to laugh at. A kind of good, bad movie experience that's nowhere near as entertaining as that recent Black Mirror episode where Miley Cyrus plays a pop star with a dangerous tie-in toy. Not too bad. It does sound like they, are joking around with themselves and things like that. The AV Club, Dourif's Chucky had attitude, a personality, and hot pumping blood. All of which have made him an enduring and ongoing presence at multiplexes for the better part of 3 decades. Clevberg and Smith reduced Chucky to a malevolent automaton, his dialogue limited to parroting back someone else's catchphrases. There's a metaphor in there somewhere about a film rewording a past success and outputting only a garbled repetition. Oof. Scathing. Very scathing. The Sun said, while it's a pretty straightforward slasher flick with a modern twist, I honestly had such a good time. It is so gory, so ridiculously inventive, and very, very funny. So it seems to be split, basically. Definitely seems to be split. The Los Angeles Times, or the LA Times, said, being an AI with faulty circuitry, Chucky 2.0 doesn't have the hilarious vulgarity of the single-minded murderous glee, the soul, if you will, that made Duriv's Chucky such an unnervingly human abomination. So, it seems to be mixed, but apparently it's teetering on the edge of fresh. If you care what Rotten Tomatoes thinks. I'll be interested to see this. I will check out when it is released in the UK, and then I will be bringing you my personal movie review of that as well. But what do you guys think about this? Is this a movie which you were looking forward to, weren't looking forward to? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, again, this will be some mild spoilers, but let's take a look at Mark Hamill. I don't think this is spoilers in honesty, but I have to say it. Okay, so Mark Hamill has revealed how Luke Skywalker will be returning in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, but then also, hilariously, he has revealed his thoughts on being in the franchise again. Legend of Mark Hamill. Seriously, this guy, he's super fine with just saying what he wants, and I appreciate it. So, I'll play this first because you'll see why, and then we'll just kind of get into the actual quote directly. But it's yeah, it's good.
I sure hope so.
So listen again.
Is this really going to be your last Star Wars appearance?
I sure hope so.
Why?
Well, because, I mean, I had closure in the last one. I mean, the fact that I'm involved in any capacity is only because of that peculiar aspect of the Star Wars mythology where if you're a Jedi, you get to come back and make a curtain call as a Force ghost.
This guy, he's such a legend. Is this really going to be your last Star Wars? I sure hope so. What a legend. What an absolute legend. This guy. So look, he's gonna be a Force ghost. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. So he says, the fact that I'm involved in any capacity is only because of that peculiar aspect of the Star Wars mythology. Where if you're a Jedi, you get to come back and make a curtain call as a Force ghost. I cannot. It's also as well this cheeky grin that he's just chucked on his face now. What a legend. What an absolute legend. So look, he's going to be a Force ghost. It's not really a surprise, not really a spoiler, but that is what he's going to be. What do you think? What do you think of his disdain for the Star Wars series by the sounds of it? Let me know down below in the comments section. Now, let's move on to 21 Jump Street. Now, this was a crossover. 21 Jump Street crossed with Men in Black. It was a crossover that was long in the works. A lot of people wanted it to happen. And it seemed like it was going to happen. We now find out why not. The producer of 21 Jump Street blocked it. Why? Well, let's get into it and see. Jump Street franchise producer Neil Moritz reportedly blocked the planned crossover with Men in Black from happening because he did not want to take a pay cut on his usual producing fee. As far back as 2014, Sony was considering the possibility of combining two of their more recognizable IPs, and the project remained in development for a number of years. The director, James Bobbin, even signed on to direct in March 2016, and the movie was given the title MIB 23. Despite having a few key pieces in place, the film struggled to get off the ground, and it was ultimately scrapped in favor of a soft reboot of Men in Black International, which has definitely proved not successful. Shouldn't have done that. Members of the creative team, including Bobbin and Jonah Hill, chalked it up to difficulties of mixing the two properties. While both are genre comedies, Jump Street specializes in R-rated meta-humor, while Men in Black leans more towards four-quadrant PG-13 spectacle. There's no denying the filmmakers might have struggled finding a way to make the crossover work, but it sounds like there was something else at play that prevented it from happening. I mean, this definitely could have happened, and this could have been very easily done, actually. Very, very easily done. You could have just made Men in Black for adults, quite frankly. So this is all courtesy of The Hollywood Reporter. A report on the behind-the-scenes woes of the plagued Men in Black International. It said Moritz, a producer on the two Jump Street films, refused to compromise on his customary first dollar pact. Apparently, MIB 23 required heavy hitters like Steven Spielberg, Walter F. Parks, Phil Lord, and Chris Miller to forego rich producing deals, and when Moritz refused to budge, Sony just decided to move on. So well done, dude. You blocked it. You caused Sony to have, Jump Street now just off the cards entirely, because we're not even hearing about a Jump Street 3, are we? Or 23 Jump Street. And you caused Sony essentially just to go the route of rebooting the franchise and making a big old pile of wank for it. So, well done. Well done, you greedy SOB. I can kind of see it to a certain degree, but I mean, would have been more lucrative in the long run, because you would have got 2 sequels, I would have imagined, out of this. It would have gone on for a while. If you think long term about these things, this would have been much more lucrative for the producer, rather than, trying to just do 21 Jump Street again, because that's dead in the water, isn't it? So, surprising, but nonetheless, that is what it is. I'd love to hear your thoughts, though, so please do let me know down below in the comment section. And now, for our final bit of news. Halloween 2 will reportedly film this fall for a 2020 release date. Quick turnaround. Really quick turnaround. Super, super quick, in fact. So it says Blumhouse's Halloween 2 is reportedly gearing up to start filming this fall for an October 2020 release date. So going, I would imagine, again, for a kind of a Halloween-style release date. Now, this is interesting because Blumhouse had gone on to say numerous times that actually they didn't know whether they could do it again. Whether they had the rights to it or something along those lines. But look, Danny McBride, who co-wrote Halloween with Green and Jeff Fradley, they're apparently back on board. But then nothing had really settled down. So it's surprising, but apparently it might be ready to start production by September. This is all courtesy of Collider. I am really surprised by this. Not surprised that they're making a sequel, because it made money, so that's fine. I understand that. Just surprised that this has all kind of happened under the radar. Now we're only hearing about it. So I hand it on over to you. What do you think about, I guess we could call it Halloween 2? Halloween Light 2, I guess. Whatever. What do you think about this returning? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, we've got some time for some viewer questions, so let's dip in the mailbag and see what we've got. But if you want your questions answered, please do send them to me at my Gmail, mrhreviews@gmail.com, using the subject line The Wrap Up, and hopefully we'll have time for your viewer questions. So let's get right into it. So, today we have an email from The White, Denzel Washington. It said, "Blessed be Mr. H. Have you any hopes that we will get a new Nightmare on Elm Street film or series, and or will we get to see England in the role on the big or small screen one last time? Love the wrap up, mate." Well, interestingly, because obviously we're talking about Halloween, so I thought this question would be interesting to kind of tie into all of that. Inevitably with these properties, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, even Hellraiser now, we're going to see these returning. Halloween made so much money. These are going to return. Absolutely. And will they try to get the original actors involved? Yeah, they will. Yes, they will. Just because it's nostalgia. It works. Studios take models which other studios have done and taken risks on. Blumhouse is a studio which takes very small risks. But getting the original cast back and pushing out a soft reboot, that's what other studios are going to do now. So yeah, I think that will happen. Don't know whether I want to see it again. We're already seeing Hellraiser being remade. That's for a theatrical release as well by David Goyer. I don't know whether I'd like to see this happen, just because I feel like, unfortunately, Hollywood is kind of void of creativity as it is anyway. I don't want to actively encourage recycling material. It's not really, I don't think that's very good. But hey, if they release one, I'll watch it, just as like I think anyone else would, because you would. It's nostalgia. You'd want to see it, so inevitably you would. But thanks for the question, and I'll hand on over to you. What do you guys think? Do you think they should? Do you think they will? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, let's move on to another question from, I think this is Carl or Charles. Apologies there. But he says, "Hey, Mr. H, I love the channel and all your videos. My question to you is, what did you think of the Shin Godzilla movie? And are you gutted it won't be getting a sequel?" They added their own thoughts. They said Shin Godzilla is personally one of my favourite Godzilla movies, especially with the twist ending with the human Godzilla hybrids on the tail. And I'm gutted we won't see a follow-up to it. Sorry, spoiler alert for a 3-year-old movie. Keep up the good work. I actually really like Shin Godzilla. It definitely has its issues. It's one of my favourite and least favourite Godzilla films because its bad parts are really bad. But I really liked it. And the twist ending is fantastic. I'd love to have seen where they wanted to take that. And it is a shame that we won't get a sequel. But there's hope that maybe something will happen because it was like the highest grossing Godzilla film in Japan from Japan. But yeah, what do you guys think of Shin Godzilla? Because it definitely has its critics and then its fans. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and get like a round table of people's opinions. So let me know down below in the comment section. We've got one more question. Well, time for one more question. This is from Nate. And he said, "Hey, Mr. H, I'm enjoying the show." I'm glad you are. Thank you. My general question in regards to Keanu Reeves possibly joining the MCU. If you didn't see that, that was on yesterday's show. Who do you see him potentially playing? Me and another few in the comments think Silver Surfer. Also, have you ever considered acting? You have the voice and appearance. I didn't read this part of the question. I haven't, but thank you. I could see you playing Mr. Sinister in an X-Men movie. Thanks. I don't know why, but thanks so much. Right, okay, so I saw all those comments saying Silver Surfer. And I agree. I think he'd have the tone of voice for it as well. I think he would be fantastic as that. I also think he could play... A lot of people were saying Adam Warlock. Yeah, I'd also like him to play maybe a Sentry. And before everyone holds the, goes, no, don't play Sentry. The reason why I think he'd be good as the Sentry is, if people don't know who the Sentry is, he's the strongest character. He is the strongest character. But he doesn't know it. Because he's forgotten, because there's an alter ego part of him which is so destructive and so powerful as well. And I think he has the mannerisms that would work very well for that character. So, Sentry, I could definitely see the Silver Surfer as well. Speaking of even Mr. Sinister, bulk him up a little bit, put a some kind of CGI suit on him or whatever. You could even do a Mr. Sinister, in fairness. But I'll hand it on over to you. Who do you think Keanu Reeves should play? Let me know down below in the comment section. So anyway, that wraps it up here for me on this daily dose of pop culture and movie news. I've got nothing else to say. As with all of these things, please do leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Really good to get a wide range of opinions. But if you are new here, please do hit subscribe and also give this video a like and a share. As always, I've been Mr. H. Take care.